What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Expand What Ifs. Today we're going to be going over a topic in the MCU, which I'm going to be calling What If General Ross Became the Red Hulk? We can see from the Incredible Hulk movie that General Ross was a real pain in the ass. So, with General Ross becoming the Red Hulk like his comic book counterpart, how will this change out the continuation of the MCU? Well, for today, it's just going to be a one-parter what if, as if there's not a lot of support for this, I'll just leave it at this video. But if there is more wishes for a future part to this, then leave a comment below, and I'll get working on to another part. Other than that, let's begin. After the battle of Hulk vs. Abomination, Ross got thinking about Hulk. Hulk was so strong, and he didn't kill Abomination. This gave Ross an idea. If a stressed-out doctor can control a beast of destruction, then a man like Ross can become the Earth's protector. It takes a few months to track down a sample of Banner's blood, but they find it in a soda drink. They experiment on the blood, and soon enough, Ross suggests to be the first test subject. Ross finally achieves his goal and becomes the Red Hulk. The time for Ross's experiment to work was very long, and took over the time after Tony's battle with the terrorists. One day, Ross visits Tony and shows off his Red Hulk transformation. Tony gets ready to fight, but Ross confirms that he has control over his form. Tony is very shocked, but isn't very sure this form of Ross's is safe. Ross shows that he can do normal things as a human form, has more control over this form than Banner does. Tony then accepts this, and informs Fury about it, but Fury would seem to be busy. Fury is investigating the situation with Thor, and Thor is currently on his way with Jane to retrieve his hammer. Ross then gets onto the situation, and by the time he gets there, he sees Thor reaching for his hammer. Coulson tells his men to stand down, but Ross ignores the order and jumps in as Red Hulk. Red Hulk then slaps Thor out of the facility. Thor gets up, but very injured. Ross orders him to stay down, but Thor tries to punch Ross. Ross just punches Thor in the gut, and Thor passes out from this. Coulson would be pissed that Ross didn't listen, but it made their job easier, so he would calm down. They then place Thor under security, but Thor isn't going to fight this time. He gives up because he's not worthy anymore. Soon enough, Thor is busted out. Well, sort of. Same way it goes in the actual movie. And Thor starts to live with Jane, and yeah, just Jane. Heimdall then sends Thor's friends to Earth to help, but then the destroyer arrives. Ross gets the notification and heads over to New Mexico. Thor then pleads with his brother to keep the destroyer away from the humans. As per usual, the destroyer backhands Thor away, and Jane would run over to him. Ross then arrives in his Red Hulk form and fights off the destroyer. The destroyer starts to lose by Ross ripping it apart. Thor then regains Mjolnir, and him and Ross finish off the destroyer. Thor admires the strong beast, but also has a hatred for him since he knocked him out. Thor then leaves back to Asgard, as S.H.I.E.L.D. thanks Ross for their help, and for the pieces of the destroyer. Time has passed, and Ross soon enough is allowed to be a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Ross's forces kind of fuse into S.H.I.E.L.D. Soon enough, they are testing the Tesseract, and Loki appears. Ross is about to jump in, but Loki uses his staff to control Ross. Now Loki has his own beast, and he takes more of the people, including Hawkeye. Loki escapes, and Fury reactivates the Avengers Initiative. Black Widow recruits Bruce Banner, but Bruce knows about Red Hulk and questions this. Captain America, Bruce Banner, Black Widow, and Tony Stark would arrive on the helicarrier. Bruce asks about Red Hulk to Fury. Fury would say to not worry about it, but Tony would also butt in to the conversation, but Fury tells the two to get to work on tracking the Tesseract. Loki is currently in Germany, and they retrieve an item to control the Tesseract. Captain America then arrives and fights off Loki until Loki sends a signal to someone, to Ross. Ross then transforms into Red Hulk and charges towards Steve. Captain is starting to have trouble by fighting both Loki and Red Hulk. Natasha arrives in the jet, and Iron Man fires off many missiles at Ross. Captain America continues to fight off Loki, and soon enough Black Widow jumps in, and the two get Loki to his knees. Loki commands for Ross to return, but Ross is knocked out by Iron Man. They get Ross and Loki into the ship, and Ross apologizes to the Avengers for him losing control. Black Widow says it's fine, since they didn't have to deal with the actual Hulk. The team would head back to the helicarrier, but before they would arrive, Thor attacks them and takes Loki with him. Thor tries to get through to Loki, but is interrupted by Iron Man, who punches him into a forest. Ross jumps in to help Tony, and Captain America decides that he'll have to fix this mess. Iron Man is currently fighting Thor, and Ross jumps in. Ross helps Tony, but Tony just sees Ross in the way. Soon enough, Captain America stops the three, and Tony and Thor tries to attack him, but Captain America blocks his attack, which destroys an entire forest. Thor then heads back with the Avengers to the helicarrier. When they get there, the group starts to argue about the two Hulks. Black Widow and Fury believe that the Red Hulk is a better benefit, while the others disagree, saying that the original Hulk is innocent. While this argument is going off, Clint has taken down the propellers to the helicarrier. Bruce falls down with Black Widow, and Ross stays with the group. Bruce loses control, and the Hulk takes over and starts to chase Natasha. Tony gets his armor, and him and Captain America plan to fix the damage. Natasha is running away from a berserk Hulk, who's starting to destroy things. Ross tells Thor to help Tony and Cap, as he will take care of the Hulk. Natasha has been smacked by the Hulk, and soon enough, Ross arrives and smashes into the Hulk. Hulk recognizes Ross and becomes extremely pissed at this. Ross is starting to lose to Hulk until he activates a new level of rage. Ross summons fire around himself and takes Hulk with this new ability. Ross would see that the two Hulks would be causing too much collateral damage, so he would tackle the Hulk out of the helicarrier and punches him towards the ground. Ross lands onto the ground, and then he jumps straight back to the helicarrier to help them. Ross and the others help out, and they fix the helicarrier quicker than from the movie. Loki still escapes, but Coulson survives this time. Fury is having a discussion with Ross, and the Avengers take this chance to go to Loki in New York. They arrive in New York, and Loki opens the portal, allowing his army to enter. Iron Man and Thor arrive to help them fight them off. The Avengers then form back up and take on the army. Soon enough, they win, but where was Ross during all of this? He was ordered to stay at the helicarrier, and Ross's hate for the Hulk expands to the Avengers. He tried to work with them, but they wouldn't allow it. Ross leaves S.H.I.E.L.D. after the Avengers win with some inspiration. He's going to make his own team that will be way stronger than the Avengers. Ross calls this new team the Thunderbolts. So what did you guys think of this? Did you expect Ross to join the Avengers and help with that and to replace the Hulk in this story? Who could Ross potentially add onto his Thunderbolts crew? Could it be the original comic book origin characters? Or could it be some new characters from old shows? Before I end this off, I just want to say that this video was in memory of William Hurt. He played many amazing roles in his career, and he definitely lived to be somebody who inspired a lot of us. Let's just never forget what this man has done for entertainment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until we meet again, later!